Alright, I guess welcome to episode 4 of Escaping ELO Hell. Today I'm spectating, where is he? TrunkMunky. He's playing Kog'Maw AD bottom. I believe, I forgot his ELO. I think he said he was like around 800 ELO. Where did he say? I don't know, I'm just gonna guess. 800 ELO, I think that's what he said. But, so in this show, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be spectating bottom. I'm only going to be focusing on his play, not his team, because the only thing you can control in ranked is your play and your calls. So he told me a little bit before this game in chat that someone was getting ELO boosted, so this game might be just like a stomp fest, which isn't that great for reviewing his play, but hopefully that's not true. One crappy part about this, though, is even though he got AD carry, his support this game is going to be Volibear. It's kind of weird. I've seen it before, but it's not that standard, so it makes the game a little bit more difficult sometimes if you're not used to standard unorthodox situations, especially for bottom lane. And one thing about bottom lane, it's, in my opinion, one of the harder lanes to play, because you have to be able to make plays off your partner, because it's not just a 1v1 situation, it's a 2v2. But as far as that goes, that's it. So as far as the summoners, Flash Ignite, pretty standard on Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw has no real escape, so Flash is always good, and then again, Flash OP, everyone takes Flash, except this Teemo apparently. But yeah, so far no crazy things going on except for that Volibear support. It's going to be interesting to see how TrunkMunky deals with such an unorthodox support bottom lane. Matchup is going to be against Vayne Lux, it looks like. Honestly, I think everyone beats Vayne in lane pretty hard. Vayne's one of those carries that like should lose lane for the most part, but she can snowball like crazy for no reason, like off of like 1 or 2 kills in a team fight, then suddenly you got this unstoppable monster. But hopefully that doesn't happen, especially since Kog'Maw usually craps on Vayne for the most part. And bottom lane will be really interesting with Volibear, so we'll see how that goes. One thing that's going to be really tricky bottom too is Lux support. As long as he keeps dodging those Qs, he'll probably be 100% fine and win the lane with ease. One thing I hope TrunkMunky does notice, let's see, where is he on here? Where are you, Kog'Maw? There we go. He does notice is that Vayne took heal. In that case, like, Vayne's gonna be looking to play passive, not like super aggressive, unless they try to make a play off of a heal, like a heal bait them really hard, which I don't think should happen. Hopefully he saw that the summoner she picked up was heal. Luckily Ignite ends up countering heal for the most part in lane. So as long as he gets Ignite off first before she heals in fights, when they all in, he should still come out ahead, hopefully. His starting items are Boots 3 Pots, always good, kind of standard now. Almost like everyone starts Boots 3 Pots, even junglers in most cases. Or in some cases, not most, I guess.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Alright, so they're kind of grouping up just to defend that blue for their jungler. It looks like no invades are going to happen. And Teemo all top by himself. I don't expect anything crazy to happen here in the first level, especially with the way everyone's positioned on the map. Hopefully this goes off with no problems. I don't think that Lux and Vayne are going to try anything crazy. One thing you can do bottom, if you can be a little bit more coordinated with your support, is you can like go check on golems, because a lot of ADs bottom like to do golems to just get ahead right at the start. You could go stop them, like you wait for them to spawn around 140 when they're there, then you could go poke in, and if they're fighting you just auto attack them and make them stop doing that just so you can keep everything pretty even bottom lane. It's a really annoying thing that people do. It kind of sucks because when you're on purple side and they get away with that. But luckily for them, it looks like Vayne and Lux chose not to do that. So bottom lane's probably going to be pretty passive for the most part. I don't think Volibear is going to do anything crazy. Then again, he does have his passive, so he could charge in and try to like fling Lux and stuff. One thing playing bottom, for the most part, like bottom is defined by CS and if like you get a kill or not. The best thing to do bottom is just kind of like free farm until they make a mistake. Unless you have someone on your team kind of like blitzcrank to force them to make a mistake, like once they're out of position, pull them in to make their like that small mistake even worse. Right now I don't like how Volibear is just kind of like chilling out in the bush, getting hit by all those spells by Lux. It's not nice to take free damage. So one thing I am noticing is that he's not taking advantage of the fact that Vayne has really crappy auto attack range. He should be able to harass Vayne whenever she comes up for last hits. Oh man, they actually might get a kill here. Oh, it doesn't look like it. Oh, that bear, very silly. I can't believe he lived. Alright, so his flash is down, and he knows that Vayne's flash and heal is down. So right now, in situations when you know you have a summoner advantage like this, you can call for ganks and tell him just make sure your jungler knows that hey, bottom has no summoners up. So like if you guys commit a fight, you should always come out ahead unless like you get ganked also. Otherwise, bottom right now is completely screwed. You can zone him out really hard too because now Vayne has no real escape. But one downside to this though is he did use flash to try to get that kill, but sadly he wasn't able to pick it up. So as Kog'Maw too, you have no real like escape mechanism, so you got to be a little bit more careful bottom, because without flash as Kog'Maw, if you get caught, you're just dead. There's nothing you can do. You can only hope to like get a kill before you die. See right here, he needs to be able to abuse Kog'Maw's range more and poke at Vayne so she doesn't get any last hits. What you want to try to do against any AD carry whenever you're ahead is zone them out, because there's no denying in this game the best way to like win your lane even harder is zone them whenever you're ahead. One thing bottom lane, generally your goal in the game is always have more CS than who you're facing against, but a really good benchmark to go for if you're looking to climb elo very high, like to get like almost a plat or anything, is if you can consistently hit 150 CS at 20 minutes, you'll probably move far. In this game, for the most part, the game is usually decided in like the first like 15 minutes or so, or like the first two team fights. Usually what decides the game here is CS, and the first couple team fights, that usually decides the game completely. Right here, when he's running away like that, honestly, I think he should have been auto-attacking Vayne to like try to scare her from attacking, and if she keeps chasing Volibear, like she'll probably die. So Skarn is bottom, they know that Skarn is there because of that ward. I don't know what Volibear is doing. Volibear. Oh wait, Skarn is on their team, my bad. I'm really dumb. That worked out. For some reason Vayne like helped Skarner get away. Man, I feel dumb. I thought Skarner was on the other team. See, like Skarner even knows. He got lucky there, he probably should have died, but Vayne helped him out. In situations like this, you want to just push the lane as fast as possible, especially since Kog'Maw has no mana right now, and bottom's already getting zoned, and like you already got that kill early on. You want to push the lane as fast as possible, while of course trying to get all the last hits you can, and then hurry up and back, and then come back to lane with items, because you'll have items and you'll be ahead of Vayne even more, and then you can force fights because if Vayne doesn't back when you back, and your lane's already pushing the tower. That way she's gonna lose CS if she doesn't back. Or she'll lose CS if she backs, and if she stays, she'll stay low and it'll be down items, whereas you will be up in items. And so you next time you fight, you can force the fight and all in her, or all in any AD carry that you're playing against, and you'll come out ahead, or at least hopefully you should, because you're ahead in items and she still hasn't backed. I think that's one of the bigger mistakes people make early on, is that they don't know when to back. They just kind of back whenever they feel like it, when in reality there's certain times you really want to back. Like when you push this lane completely and you're like already ahead in a kill or something, you always want that item advantage. Like let's see, right now Vayne did back and he didn't back. Because he didn't back, Vayne has one item above on him, so whenever they engage like that, he's gonna come out behind, because he's always going to be taking more damage. Vayne has more health and more auto attack damage because of that Dorian's that she picked up. Like right now, Vayne shouldn't even be able to take any CS right now, but because he chose not to back earlier, he's down an item right now, which puts him in a bad situation. Anytime like this, where your support is getting auto attacked like that, you should definitely be auto attacking back and hiding backwards. Like auto attack, then walk back, auto attack, walk back, just so you can put more pressure on them to make it so that that whole kill would not have happened. Vayne would have like been very afraid and probably have not trying to go for that kill. Then again, it kind of worked out too, because Vayne totally died there for no reason. So here we go. He's finally backing. It's kind of good. If you look at the lane here, it's kind of pushing a little bit. It looks like Lux is trying to push the lane back a little bit. One thing you can do as support, even though anytime like in this situation, yeah, you can pick up CS because your AD carry is not here, but one thing you can do is when it gets close to tower, like right here, like towards this area, and it kills off the wave, you can tank it for your AD carry, just so that the AD carry can pick up all the creeps when it gets back and the tower won't kill it. That way you can set up a freeze right here in lane, so that you're safer since you're close to the tower, and you can call for ganks more too. And if you don't know what a freeze is, like in lane, what you want to do is try to keep your creeps around this area, so you're always protected by turret. And by only last hitting, and making sure that you can hold the lane here, you'll be able to keep the lane. You'll be able to keep the lane here by last hitting and making sure that you don't over auto attack like Vayne's doing right now. She's auto attacking for kind of no reason. There's no reason to auto attack here at all, so she's gonna end up pushing the lane back towards this tower, and it's gonna make Kog'Maw more safe. I hate this one thing about spectator they need to fix. So whenever you go direct to camera, try to go back to the same guy, it doesn't always work. You have to switch between. So here we go. Kog'Maw came to lane with BF sword. It's really nice. I don't know if I would personally do that. I usually still like picking up Dorian, so like you're for sure gonna win the lane hard. I feel like picking up a couple Dorians was a better choice, but we'll see how this plays out. Oh, goodbye Volibear, getting sniped by laser. So right now, TrunkMunky like wasted a lot of his mana in lane. Like one thing in this game is when a champion has no mana, they're almost considered no threat at all. Especially in lane phases and when it's so early like this. You should just be focusing on last hitting and then only use your mana whenever you're like committing to a fight or you need to escape, like with Kog'Maw's slow. Like I said, see, taking that BF sword might have not been the greatest idea, because see, Vayne now picked up double Dorians, and now he's probably going to be able to, well, she's dead now, but she'll be able to like come back in the lane if she plays it more properly. Not taking that survival early game can like really screw you up. I'm actually kind of surprised, like, one popular build Kog'Maw I always see is like a couple Dorians into Zeal. But that's usually with like new support and stuff. Look at Cog's skills. Oh, Kog'Maw, where are you? What is going on here? Alright. Don't know if you should have maxed Q first. I personally don't play Kog'Maw a lot, but as far as I understand, W is usually the skill you max first. And 2 points in E. Not sure if that was great. I don't play Kog'Maw enough to like be perfectly sound on his skills. I'm not sure if you should actually be maxing Q or E. Alright, this is kind of bad because he just dragged. That was what I was afraid of, but he kind of just waited too long. But something like that, whenever like someone on your team pulls or drags someone into you that has an initiate like that, you probably should back up out of range for it, because as soon as they become unstunned, they're just gonna spam their ult or their taunt or whatever it is, and probably get all of you because you all clumped up like that. One thing you should avoid doing is when you know someone has like an AoE spell that controls a lot of area when they use it, or like has a mass stun, you want to try to spread out from your team just so you won't get caught with them if they all do stick together. Sad times for Kog'Maw. One thing you should do if your support's not doing it, or if you ask him to and he refuses to, is whenever you have whenever the enemy team has like stuns bottom lane, like with Lux or anything, you want to have control of these bushes all the time. So if need be, you should drop a ward in here just so you have control. I'm surprised that Lux hasn't been doing that for Vayne, because if you drop a ward in here and Vayne can make a play off of like seeing Volibear or something standing in here and just stun them and go crazy. Honestly, I feel like if he did go the double Dorians and like Zeal build, he probably would have stayed way ahead in lane. But I think because he went so fragile, like it's kind of screwing him up. Because honestly, he probably feels like he should be way stronger, but in reality, because of the double Dorians staying that he has, it's making it tough on him. Oh man. They're gonna live and he's gonna get a double kill.
Double kill.
I have no idea what the Vayne was thinking going for that. She's probably pretty dead now. Looks like they're finally going to pick up Dragon. One thing you can do bottom lane to get your team to be a little bit more organized is that whenever you know bottom lane's backing and your jungle is near bottom, you should just force Dragon. Because if both people are bottom back, they're not going to come back in time to be able to take your Dragon unless it's really, really early game. Otherwise, Yeah, it puts them down 2 people, and especially whenever you see their jungler top, you should be trying to call dragon when it's later in the game, like after 12 minutes or so, or whenever your jungler has like wriggles. Then again, they do have Skarner jungle, and like it's not the best for taking dragon. So I can understand why they like waited so long for that. But that's just something to think about when you're in lane, and you do force them to back. Philibert getting caught out of top. Not too good for him right now. Well, there's 4 bottom. Nothing you can really do here. You can kind of just poke with your ult right here, is what I would do, but then like you should just leave. There's no way you're gonna be able to save that turret. One thing a lot of players mistake, is that they think turrets are like this super holy grail of like once you're next to it, you can't be killed, you can't be died. But people make that mistake too often. They think that turrets are just gonna save them from everything, but when like 3 or 4 people dive you, there's nothing you can really do. About 19 minutes of the game. He's like, right now, his CS is like really low. By now, I would expect someone to be like over 100 CS. But luckily, he's been able to pick up 6 kills. Everything that kind of worked out. But one thing you really should focus on is getting last hits and staying ahead. Honestly, CS in this game, like, makes and breaks how high you can go in ELO. I feel like people who can consistently get that 150 CS mark is just gonna naturally move up, even if they are bad. They make really silly decisions sometimes, just because they always have that CS advantage. They're just gonna naturally move up. So yeah, so Kog'Maw was able to pick up IE before Vayne, which is kind of good. Whenever you're like ahead of, or I guess Vayne is doing the Bloodthirster build. So whenever you pick up IE before the enemy team, you should try to like force fights and force objectives, because you're gonna be a lot stronger for a little while until they either get IE or get their like big purchase item.
A summoner has disconnected.
Oh no, Volibear DC'd. So yeah, right now, like, even though he did like pretty decent in lane for the most part, Vayne is ahead of him in CS and catching up on kills too. Like I said, Vayne's one of those AD carries who like should naturally lose bottom, but like if they start snowballing really hard, then it just gets out of control. At this point,
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
even though like they're ahead in kills and they did pick up dragon, one of the problems is that blue team currently has more local gold than red team because of all the towers they were able to pick up. They took mid, they took top, they took bottom. It's really, really annoying. Like, as a team at this point, you should be like gathering together, like getting your team to try to get together and try to clear objectives, because like that's one of the bigger problems you're gonna have. Even though you think you're ahead, you're actually not in gold, just because of the whole global gold aspect that the enemy team like was able to pick up 4 towers on them right now, which is really, really crappy for your team. So right now they're just kind of like passively farming because they have no idea what to do. I didn't get Dragon Timer, but probably should be spawning pretty soon. It seems like everyone's going around to it. Like try to contest it and fight. Kind of bad. You never want to. The enemy team has like a really big AoE comp. You never want to fight in the jungle like that because they'll just be able to get all their AoE off and just like destroy your team. Even if you're far ahead, I've seen situations where like AoE team comps were just like for some reason get forced to fight in the jungle. Like they'd even like force the fight. It just happens because the enemy team thinks they're way stronger than they really are in those situations, and then they all get blown up because of all the AoE stuns and all of the AoE damage. So whenever you see people with like that has very strong AoE comps, you should try to tell your team like, what the hell are you doing? Don't fight in jungle at all, or like fight in closed areas. You want to fight in areas where you can be a little bit more spread out, so all of you don't get caught. That's pretty crazy of Galio. I don't know why he did that. Fun times. In situations like this where your team's actually like fizz, or you guys are like behind but you're not too far behind, one thing you can do, especially in lower ELOs, you gotta know is that people hardly ever ward in this ELO like properly, and anytime like say the enemy team pushes your mid lane and tries to take a tower but you're able to get them really low and none of you have died, or you've like picked off one or two people, you all still have like most of your HP, you can force Baron. Like you could just run to Baron immediately after to counter their push, because the enemy team's gonna be too weak to contest it. So hopefully I see that here, because right now they've fallen kind of behind for the most part, but hopefully start getting ahead again. So Dragon is up. They have some wards in river, which is nice. They really need a ward. Hopefully they'll be able to get a ward off here and over here and to figure out where they are, because right now they have no idea where the enemy team is. Oh, it looks like this ward's going to pick it up for them. So they now know that they're all down here. Wukong is top. Hopefully they know that. And if they force a fight here, they could probably come out ahead. Alright, so Kog'Maw kind of positioned himself very badly right there. Kind of moved in as if he was like melee range, when in reality he's not. He should be like trying to stay behind his team as far back as possible and poke him as far back as possible. There's no reason ever for you as a range AD carry to be up in the front line. Like, your job of your team is to protect you. Hopefully he can correct that later on, but that's one problem. People have trouble, like they might do well in lane, but they have trouble team fighting because they don't understand how to position correctly. And sometimes you want to be the last person into the fight also. Like you might want to wait for someone to use a certain ult or anything and then walk in and like start DPSing.
A summoner has disconnected. A summoner has reconnected.
I can't believe how close the money is at this point. That's one thing about like kills and deaths, is that it can throw you off because you guys are like, they're 7 kills ahead and they did pick up a dragon or 2, right? But because everyone on their team is like getting out CS for the most, not really actually, but enemy teams like clearing more objectives and stuff. They did pick up. They pick up a dragon last fight. So. They do. They're up like 3 towers. This makes such a big difference. Honestly, if this game hits late game and they're able to pick up Vayne, they'll be able to come back and like completely like just push mid as a team. For some reason right now Fizz is getting caught, and then so is Volibear. This is a really bad position. Right now the enemy team is going to be able to push mid like uncontested, and if he stays around here, he's just going to get completely destroyed right here.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
One thing you should do is communicate with your team. Like right now, they could honestly use Frozen Heart on their team to like counteract Vayne's passive auto damage from her W. Something you always like want to think about is ask your team like, hey, can you get this item to counter this, or like anything that you can do to like get your team to like winning team fights wise. Because if right now if red team had a Frozen Heart like on, like if Skarner went Frozen Heart like I think he should have went instead of going for a Sunfire Cape, I think their team fights would be a lot better. And hopefully, like, one thing you want to communicate with your team too is, like, to Skarner and stuff, is that you gotta point out that Vayne has no QSS right now, so like she's easy pickings for Skarner to flash ult and drag her away. So right now it seems like red team's in limbo. They're not sure what to do, and there's like 2 bottom trying to gank Vayne for some horrible reason. There's no reason you should be going out that far, especially when your team hardly has any wards. And they're like really relying on team emotions for some reason. So yeah, he's top right now. His team kind of sucks. In my opinion, I don't know what I would do in this situation perfectly. I might end up just be like, screw my team, I'm just gonna AFK farm. So I don't know what the heck bottom was thinking being out that far. Honestly, I would call him back.
Killing spree.
He's gonna be able to pick up an ace though.
Rampage.
If Kagwan was there, if he rushed to his team, maybe Skarner and Timo would have lived too. Anyway, it was like a call that's really hard to make. Sadly, this Vayne could possibly carry the game, but he's having a hard time like living at this point for some reason. Vayne should have picked up QSS. If anyone on your enemy team has like suppression like that, you should be picking up QSS instead of finishing more DPS items after you get your big DPS item like IE or Bloodthirster. Because it doesn't matter if you have that big ass item or have 2 really big items if the enemy team's just gonna suppress you and kill you before you could even do anything. If Vayne was picked up QSS, she would live a lot more and she'd probably be able to like win a lot of team fights by herself if she played it out correctly.
Blue team has slain the dragon.
So blue team is like creeping slowly ahead. which is really bad because red team is like not working as a team and clearing objectives or defending certain things. Like right now, Kog'Maw picked up an elixir, the attack speed elixir. I'm not exactly sure why he did that or why he popped it in base. There was no reason to pop it. If you have it in your inventory, you can wait to pop it like when team fights start. Now, see, in this situation right here, this is really bad. Like everyone's bottom. They have no idea that everyone's gonna go to Baron right now. Like, this is so bad. They're calling Baron right now. The red team to like hurry up and go there. They're totally doing it. In reality, I honestly think red team should have stayed bottom and just got the inhib and kept pushing it. Because if they take a Baron, like at least they're forced to stay in their base a little bit and defend bottom. Because right now I don't think they're going to be able to pick it up from them. They're just going to lose Baron and lose this next fight and lose the game.
Blue team has slain Baron Nashor.
Because their team was too way out of position. See, Teemo has the right idea of staying bottom, trying to take the inhib. Yep.
Team double kill. Blue team triple kill.
Quadra kill.
Blue team quadra kill.
Teemo had the right idea. He knew he should have been bottom and taking the inhib. In those situations where you know like you guys are way out of position and you're already grouped together bottom, just go and try to push as far into the base as you can, because there's no way you're gonna stop them from doing Baron if you already know they're already there and doing it. Then again, this team didn't really know that they were at Baron, but they should have understood. They obviously understood that everyone's missing and they're probably at Baron. And because they panicked and went to fight at Baron, this whole situation happened. Luckily, their team was smart enough to stay bottom and keep pushing it. Teemo might be able to push. Looks like he got one tower. I don't think he's gonna get another one because the Vayne just spawned. So right now he's like pushing the creeps instead of running with his team. Honestly, I would have ran with the team instead of trying to defend base, because there's nothing there to defend at this point. Luckily for them, Teemo was bottom and he did get the inhib and he did get a tower. So it kind of forces blue team to kind of push bottom before they get out, otherwise bottom's going to push. Right now again, like, red team has no wards at all and they're pushing out really far. Pretty sure they saw like a couple bottom, but they don't know where the enemy team is right now. They're all pushing together. For all they know, enemy team could just be like in that bush right there waiting for them to come push top. It's really important to keep wards on you, even if you're AD carry. Every role should be carrying wards, or at least like buying them every now and then. There's no reason not to. It's like worth 3 creeps to buy a ward, and that like can save your entire team. So it looks like blue team is starting to push mid, but Vayne's getting cold feet because of bottom's pressuring them to go back. See, luckily Teemo did that. If Teemo didn't take inhib bottom, then they would have like free reign mid and just be able to push mid and try to end game from that. Though honestly, in my opinion, whenever you get an inhib down and you can't end the game instantly off of that, I prefer like taking the safe route and pushing other lanes and picking up towers and just getting more inhib. When you get another inhib down, it slowly like increases your chances of winning. So right now, red team, all they can do is kind of wait until Baron buff fades off. That way they can have a more even fight. See, everyone right now is kind of like walking in the jungle. They have no real idea where their entire team is, which is really scary. Whenever like you're in a defensive position, you should be warding your jungle. You want to know where the enemy team is, what movement they're making on your side of the map, because at any given point they could be all camping a bush and you can just like face check it and get blown up. Much red team's put in this situation just to wait till their inhibs back up and for that Baron buff to disappear. Otherwise they won't be able to win a fight.
Blue team has slain the dragon.
Alright. Looks like they were able to pick off one, but it's kind of bad that they're fighting this area because look at all that free AoE damage that the enemy team got off for free. Right now, Vayne's like destroying them.
Blue team double kill. Blue team triple kill. Red team's inhibitors respawning soon.
It looks like red team could win off of this. I guess they're not gonna go balls deep. It's like bottom inhibs back up and so is mid, so like they're kind of back in a neutral position. So now that the mid inhib is up and bottom inhib is up, it really depends on what team's gonna push what lane or who's gonna defend. Because either way, blue team can push mid as a team and get that inhib and then go for turret. But if red team's able to gather themselves first and push bottom and kind of like put pressure bottom, blue team will be forced to defend bottom, and they might be able to force a really good fight that way because they'll be fighting in a pretty open position. Most likely the next team fight will pretty much end the game, whoever comes out ahead. Whenever you feel like if the next team fight's gonna like totally end the game, like if you win or if they win, whoever wins the team fight's gonna win, you should try to just use the rest of your money that you have left over that on like the red pot and green pot, the auto attack pot. That way you have like a little bit more advantage going into the next team fight, because you really want to win the next team fight, because that'll completely cost you the game whether you win or lose. Something that I started doing a little while ago whenever I knew that the next fight would end the game. It's really bad. Kog'Maw right there again. He like walked into melee range for no reason. There's no reason for that. When you're playing AD carry, like to figure out your positioning correctly for the most part, it's how long you want to play the game of how long you can stay alive. You want to always stay back and stay as far away from like pumping as the team.
Red team's inhibitor has been destroyed.
Yeah, that's the game, like I said. Next team fight would end the game for sure. Alright. Just to go over an overview of like Kog'Maw's mistakes. Like early game, he kind of did okay in lane. With he had such a awkward support. I'd like if you've never been in such an like awkward position where someone's playing something really unorthodox bottom lane with you, it's really hard to know whether you should be aggressive or passive. One thing you can try to do is just like kind of play off what they do. If they're the ones aggro, then you can go in If not, just play super passive and farm. But one thing I did notice is that Kog'Maw had a subpar farm for like all of the game. He's only at 219 CS right now. It's already 41 minutes into the game. He should be well over 300. Like I said, if you can hit 150 CS at 20 minutes, you're on your way to like gaining high elo and like rapidly moving up the ladder. Another thing I did notice is choice of skill order. I'm not a really good Kog'Maw player. I don't like main him or play him a lot, so I can't really comment on everything. But it seemed like the skill order choice is kind of weird. You should look up on what other high elo Kog'Maw players do. But his build choice 2 was kind of awkward. I feel like you should go definitely go 2 Doran's early game, because Kog'Maw's very squishy. And if he got the 2 Dorans earlier instead of rushing the BF sword, he would have had more power in lane to be able to combat and like push Vayne out more. Otherwise, rushing BF sword makes you super weak. You have almost no HP. You can get blown up pretty easily if you get put out of position. Another thing is in team fights, I did notice for some reason he would walk into like almost melee range to fight. As AD carry, your job isn't to focus like their AD carries or anything. Your job is to stay far back, stay alive as long as possible, DPS as long as possible. Even if you can only hit the tank and stay safe by hitting the tank, you should be hitting the tank, not trying to dive their team and go for carries or like some other important objectives. That's what your bruisers are for. Bruisers are the ones who should be trying to ignore like the front line and going for the carries and zoning the carries out of fights. And you see, besides that, I think those are the only big flaws I've noticed. Is like if he works in CS more and positioning in team fights, like item choice and skill order, that's like usually preference in my opinion. Sometimes people like me, whenever I'm like forced to play mid and I play Orianna, I max E first because I like getting the free defense stuff, whereas other people like to max W or Q more than E. But it's just a preference thing. It's whatever you feel is correct. Like you don't have to like be a sheep and follow whatever the pros do or whatever, but usually you should be looking at it because obviously they're pros for a reason. So you might want to like stay towards more of orthodox skill order, but it's really up to your playstyle. But besides that, like CS wise and position wise in team fights are like his biggest problems, definitely. Like I said, you want to stay alive as long as possible and do as much damage as possible, not necessarily diving people and getting into melee range of their melees. And then of course CS. CS is just something you gotta learn to pick up and do well. Like you can try doing normal games and just focus on last hitting more than like harassing or going for kills. And when you can consistently get really high last hits, then you can move on to like learning when to harass and when not to harass. And I just remembered one other thing. I don't think he knows the Kog'Maw Vayne matchup that well, or like generally this is what you do against every Vayne in lane, is if they come into last hit and you have more range than them, you should auto attack them. If you have nothing to last hit yourself, auto attack them. Punish them for trying to get last hits, because Vayne has a really low auto attack range and gets stomped on for like trying to last hit. That way Vayne has to like choose to like commit more at you for keeping the trades even if they don't have a sustain lane like they did bottom, or Vayne just runs away and starts losing the lane slowly. That's another thing that he could work on, but that's like something you just gain through experience. Like you kind of pick up on as you move on and keep playing bottom lane. If you stick to one role, you'll slowly learn matchups. You'll figure out what weaknesses they have and what other weaknesses, or like how to like punish them for like using something incorrectly, I guess is the best way to say it. You gotta capitalize off of like any little mistake you can bottom lane, because bottom lane is such an important role. Anyway, I think that's about it for this game. Sadly, he didn't win. I was rooting for him deep down. But yeah, if you enjoyed this series, I do upload all the VODs to YouTube, and I try to do it like every day, but it's like really hard for me. But now, since my my like kind of vacation time's over. I should be able to do this like almost every day. I do have team commitments now for my team, so I don't know if I can do this like almost every day, but I'm gonna try to do it anytime I have free time, because I think this is a lot of fun to help people out. Besides that, though, I think that's it. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, follow me. I do play rank Q a lot in high elo, like 2K plus, but usually when I'm 2K plus, I'm playing support because that's the role I enjoy the most, actually. Otherwise, like sometimes I'm on Smurfs playing other roles or whatnot whenever I'm playing with friends. And I think that's about it. So yeah, follow. You can find link to my YouTube channel, I think somewhere in the information below on this page, or from the Reddit page if you did come here from that. Alright, I'm probably going to restart the stream right now, guys. I'll see what I'm going to do after this. I don't know if I'm going to do another one. I got to see what other people online on my team are doing. But I think if I have some more time, I might be able to do another one. So I'll be back really quick.